Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the channel, and in today's video we got us a top 5 best loadout right now after the mid-season update. Here I'm basically gonna be giving you guys all the top 5 best loadouts right now on Rebirth Island and even for Caldera. Whichever game you guys want to think about playing, these of course gonna be the best loadouts right now for you guys. I do notice there's been like a lot of changes throughout Warzone, including like the perk systems, and of course I'm gonna be telling you guys what are the best perks 100% to do start rocking right now in Warzone. Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video on the class setup, and if you guys do learn something new, also remember to do is drop a like, hit the subscribe button guys are brand new, and comment down below. And if you guys want to see another top 5 loadout, man, let's see if we can get over is at least 50 likes on this video right here. I will still do more of these top 5 loadouts for you guys, just to keep you guys updated on what are the brand new best weapons that you guys should actually start using right now in Warzone. Now let's hop right into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the first thing I want to start talking about is the perk system, and I'm gonna tell you guys from each category as to what I think is the best perks for you guys to start rocking as of right now. Even going to be including some that's going to be dealing with some Caldera or even Rebirth Island. So from the perk 1 category, I do know they actually buffed it with the EOD perk and of course the quick fix perks itself. Now when it actually comes down to EOD legit is feel like it's going to be one of the best #1 perks for you guys. Now if you guys aren't really used to like rocket launchers, incendiary rounds most of the time throughout your guys' game, I would probably necessarily rock his double time and of course his quick fix. But when you guys do get into some hectic activities, and especially quick fix is only good for like Rebirth itself. It's not really good for like Caldera since it's more of like a bigger map. But whenever you guys are playing Rebirth itself, I 100% would recommend is quick fix then EOD. But like I said, throughout the entire game it legit has like a little bit of a different type of selection of what type of parts you guys want to engage or somewhat not, especially if you guys are thinking about getting specialists through the little Rebirth event itself. I think that's actually here to stay. But hey, listen, don't legit get on me if I am actually saying it wrong or not. I don't know if it's going to stay or not. So if it does stay, I will 100% just think about just getting specialists every time. It would legit be the best thing to get specialists. You guys can get EOD, quick fix, and all the other perks that actually come out of from the perk 1 category. Now coming from the perk 2, I do know 100% they did buff it was the restock perk itself. Now this by far is probably going to be one of the best things for all you guys that like to use stem shots. Now the bad thing about it is that the stem shots of course does still take us 50 seconds to actually do restock itself. Now if you guys like to rock is like stun grenades, this 100% be like the best perk to do rock for you guys. Of course it actually does come back 25 seconds, so even if you throw one, it's 100% probably best for like your ammunition box as well, to just throw like a couple, another one and another one. It's legit going to be the best perk to do rock for your perk 2 category. But I would say the best perks for out of the selection over here, it's still going to be his temper. It's not really much of overkill because we really don't need to talk about that perk as well. High alert as well. High alert I think is a best perk to do rock for like solos, especially if you guys like to rock Rebirth solos. High alert is probably going to be the best perk to do rock for solos itself, since it's more of like, you know, you're gonna be looking at all different type of angles, and not too many people actually rock cold-blooded unless if you got those kind of weirdos that like to like hide, like to use a sniper, thermal. It's just every type of play styles is a little bit different from what your play style is. So I would recommend is of course is temper, high alert, and probably much of ghost. But now they actually made it where ghost works correctly throughout Warzone scene. I'm gonna tell you guys why. Now if you guys don't know, the ghost perk 100% now works if you are moving. So if you guys are like some little corner campers, not really moving an inch away from where you are, just to sit in your little spot for like the whole entire game, well, I'm gonna just let you guys know you will get pinged from anybody that calls in like a UAV, a heartbeat sensor. Well, I don't know if it actually works for a heartbeat sensor. I think it only just works for like if somebody calls in like a UAV. Maybe not the heartbeat sensor. They probably may fix it in a little couple days. I don't know if the heartbeat actually does work for that. But if it actually works the way it's supposed to work, then I would think this would be the best perk for it and selection for it. But I wouldn't really necessarily use the ghost perk in Rebirth. It's no point at all. Maybe for Caldera maybe, but Rebirth Island it's not really no point. Perk 3, my fault. If you guys actually want to know anything about it, they really didn't talk nothing about this, and I'm gonna just keep it a buck, man, with you guys. Now if you are of course is rocking combat scout in Rebirth, I'm just let you guys know there's no point. There's legit no point. Everybody legit is much as visible as it is. Now if you guys are kind of like still struggling with seeing people from like a far distant type of range itself, or if you guys like to do what most people like to do, use combat scout to shoot through like 10s, like cardboard, anything that you guys rather just use for like an assault rifle or whatever type of weapon you guys like to use the most time. Combat Scout probably the best thing, but it's really no point. The best perk still out of perk 3 category, still going to be amp, so just use this perk. There's really no point of just using any other perk. That's really all I just want to talk about from the perk category, since I know it's a lot of you guys probably just here just to see what actually happened throughout the perks and whatever. But hey man, these are going to be the best perks I'm going to be telling you guys in today's video. Alright guys, now we're going to get on to starting is the main loadout itself. So of course, I always talk about is my meta loadout. My meta loadout is still going to be the same thing as usual, and of course, it still is always the EM2 and the MP40. Two of the best guns still in Warzone. I still think the EM2 is still a top tier AR. You guys might think a little bit different of it. You might guys say it's like the Cooper Carbine, the Automaton, and other assault rifles. But let me know down in the comment section below what do you guys think is the #1 assault rifle for you guys. So of course, for the EM2 build, I know I've been getting a lot of comments like, what is the AR you're running? This is the #1 loadout for it. So of course, you got your agency suppressor for your muzzle. You got your task force barrel, which actually helps out is with your bullet velocity horizontal, your efficient damage range, and of course your vertical recoil control. This is by far one of the best barrels for the EM2, which actually does make it look like it hits very heavy from any type of long distance range, and of course sometimes even up close whenever you guys do get in some close price engagements. Optic itself, this is really just up you guys, but I think everybody is always just uses the X-Arm 3x scope, which I think is the best one for any type of Cold War assault rifle. Magazine itself, I would run 100% rock as a 40 round mag. It's really no point of rocking no 50 round magazine, which it actually does deplete is your ADS speed on it, which most of the Cold War assault rifles have is like a terrible ADS speed coming down to like a bigger mag on it. It's nowhere near as like a modern warfare gun or like a Vanguard gun itself, since the Vanguard has like all 10 attachments that you can put on your gun. Like, I would 100% would see in the nearest future if they could actually do that, make it to where you could put like 8 attachments on a Cold War gun that you can do in Cold War but not in Warzone. I feel like if 8 attachments was ever allowed in like Warzone itself, I think it would probably be one of the most broken things coming down to any type of Cold War gun itself. And of course for the underbarrel, you got your field agent grip. Now, if you guys are kind of looking for like an MP40 classes, this is like a 2 different type of setups that a lot of people are starting to use for the MP40. So of course for your muzzle, you got your recoil booster, you got your first barrel, you got your ISO 2M optic. Now the optic is really just up you guys if you guys like the little basic iron sights itself, or you guys actually can rock it's like your slight reflector, which a lot of people actually like the slight reflector, especially if you guys are on like PC itself with like the visual, like the recoil visual. I think with the slight reflector makes it like a little bit to no type of recoil, depending on what type of range that you guys are actually kind of shooting the MP40 with as well. Of course, this is up to you guys, but I would 100% would rock the 40 stock for the MP40, especially not even for this type of build itself, maybe for like the other build I'm actually gonna be giving you guys in a couple little minutes. Perks you got is your brace, you got your quick, you got your leather grip, for of course your ADS speed and your aim instead of ability, which actually is kind of good for any type of long range fights. With the MP40, you got your Gorenko round mag, you got your hollow points. Even though they actually did nerf hollow points on all like your Vanguard guns, the hollow points round still feel like it still feels the same. It still depletes at range. It still feel like it kills the exact same way as it was before the update. And of course you got your underbarrel for your hand stop as your MP40. Now this is a little bit up to you guys on which one would you guys rather rock, but I would think the hand stop is of course going to be the best one for the MP40, since it actually has like a pretty good recoil standard for itself. But a lot of people actually would switch out maybe the hand stop for like your skeletal, or I think it's like your pistol grip, which not to me people actually do the most, but I think the hand stop is of course going to be the best one for the MP40. Alright ladies and gentlemen, so our second class that we have is basically the Cooper Carbine and the second MP40 build. Now the reason why I'm going to be giving you guys is a Cooper Carbine setup because I know it's a lot of people actually like the Cooper. It's a really good ground loot, especially I think for like a long range AR build itself. This actually is a pretty good gun to pick up any type of time, and especially if you guys want to build a setup, I think this 100% is the best build for it. So of course you guys your MX silencer for your muzzle, will actually just help us with your vertical and your horizontal recoil control. You got your Cooper custom, which actually does help out with any type of long range fights. The bad thing about it, and I actually said this a lot about the Cooper, which they 100% need to do, is they need the buff the bullet velocity. Now you guys might think, well, what about using the ragdoll barrel on it? It's not good. I'm gonna let you guys know, it's just not good. it's like, it's legit, and that's not good. I don't think the ragdoll barrel is gonna 100% be the best one for this one. So that's why I say for any type of long range fight, the Cooper Custom is, of course, is the best long range barrel that it comes down to it. For the optic, this is up to you guys, but I think for Rebirth itself, the G16 is by far going to be the best optic for it. Now, you guys might think, well, what about the rifle scope, which a lot of people might recommend, or probably the best one I see a lot of people like the rock is, I think it's the SVT, I think, if I can find it. Oh, here it is. This is a good scope, but I don't think it's really necessarily good for Rebirth, because for Caldera itself, it's probably the best optic for it. But, you know, any type of optic do you guys think that you guys like to use on most of you guys' gun, I will 100% just use whatever you guys would like to use for it. For the stock itself, I would say the Cooper 45W is the best stock for the Cooper, especially for like a long range setup build. Of course, for your perk, you got your tight grip, you got your fully loaded, you got your rubber grip for your recoil control, you got your 60 round mag for your plus fire rate, recoil control, and accuracy, and of course, you got your 80 speed for it, which is the best magazine that she comes down for the Cooper, especially for this is SCB. It's the biggest magazine for any type of build for the Cooper itself. Ammunition, you got your lethal perk for your plus bullet velocity, and of course for your hand stop for your recoil control and your accuracy itself. Now, for the MP40 build, I would 100% would say that this is by far is one of the best up close range build for it. Now, the reason why I say this actually is a good build for it. Now, of course, you guys your same attachments, but you are switching a little bit up your barrel. Now, the difference between this barrel and this barrel is, of course, you got to share damage range for this one. Now, this is actually a really good. Now, these by far is like the two best barrels for the MP40, but I think a lot of people would start going back to using is the first barrel. And I'm gonna tell you guys why though, because for any type of long range fights, I don't think the short barrel is gonna be the best suggestion for it. I just think if you are having a little bit of that's what they like to say, bad with recoil control for any type of like gun itself, I would 100% say that the first barrel is the best barrel for the MP40. Now, coming down to like any other barrels itself, the short barrel is gonna be a best up close range type of fights itself. The folding stock, I would 100% say is the best one for this build itself. Now, the reason why I say the remove stock is probably the best one for the long range build is because you are a little bit getting more of your plus movement speed, and it doesn't actually shake as much as it is for the long range build as itself. So, you know, any type of build that you guys want to work on for your MP40, these by far are like the two best builds for the gun. Not really much of a change to the perks, since I always use the same exact perks for any of my builds itself, just to let you guys know, especially like the same thing when it comes down to lethal and of course for your tactical itself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so our third loadout we have is the well gun, and of course we got is the Car 98. Now, I noticed a lot of people is really excited about this one, because now when it comes down to the well gun, I still think the well gun is still a very good hitting gun, especially after like so many like nerfs actually came down to it. And I actually tried out the well gun the other day. It still feels like it actually does still hit the same, especially even the ground loot version of itself. Now, if you guys looking for a setup, this by far I think it's the best setup that actually comes down to it. Of course, you got your recoil booster, you got your Strada barrel for, of course, for your damage range, highly accuracy and control, plus resistance, and especially it's still one of the best barrels that should come down to it. Now, if you guys do think that the Strada barrel doesn't actually hit the same, kind of actually rock is the short barrel, where actually just gives you your plus fire rate, but you are decreasing is, of course, your bullet velocity, your damage range, your damage, and of course your recoil control. It's actually one of the best attachments for like up close range, which a lot of people actually use the well gun up close than what it is for like a long range. Now, it comes down to any type of good SMG for a long range build, I will 100% say the MP40 over the well gun, since the well gun has like a little bit much shake to it than the MP40 actually does, especially with the type of build that you do rock for it. Optic is really just up you guys, but of course I like to rock the slight refractor for the well gun, since the basic type of iron sights itself isn't really as good to me. Like, I don't think these are really some good iron sights coming down to the well gun. Of course, I got as my remove spot for my plus movement speed, your sprint to fire, NDS speed, you got your momentum perk and your quickness for plus movement speed, leather grip, of course, for your ADS speed and your aim and stability, Grand go round mag, hollow point, and of course your hand stop. And especially if you guys want to know it's like a really good Car 98 build itself, I would suggest this one, since a lot of people actually like to use is the 25 barrel then instead of the 27, which it legit, you might think, well, the 27 is good for like its damage range, its bullet velocity, and your recoil control, but it's not really good for any of you guys that like the quick scope, in my opinion. A lot of you guys like the quick scopes, like to get your little clips and all your little TikTok you know, setup as well for it. But I think when it comes down to like a faster quick scoping build, well, for like a standard sniper with all like this type of attachments and stuff, I would still 100% say the 25 is probably going to be the best one for you guys. Now, if you guys are kind of asking like the same thing as what I like to say, what is the best relic for this, I would probably say the cover shot. Now, a lot of you guys might say 100% maybe like the pinpoint or the cross thread. I don't think these are really good even either. Some of you guys even might say the default one is pretty good, but I think the cover shot is the best one for it, since you guys said you get like a clear pinpoint, none of those little circles things going around in your middle, none of these other ones. But you guys let me know down in the comment section below right now, what do you guys think is the best reticle for any type of sniper itself? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so our next loadout we have is the Kar 98 and the Owen gun. Now, I really don't need to talk about the Kar 98 since it's basically the same setup, but I think we need to talk about 100% is the Owen gun. Now, the reason why I think the Owen gun should actually be the #1 SMG at this current time is because basically it's the fastest TTK that comes down to any type of Vanguard gun. You guys might think, oh, well, what about the Owen gun? Not the Owen gun. What about the MP40? What about the Well gun? Like, those are really some good SMGs, but I think the Owen gun takes the movement out of it, especially for like the mobility, the bigger magazine for it is legit taking over, especially since we don't got much of the hipfire PPSH anymore. I think the Owen gun is still taking a cake as of right now as the best SMG. Best setup out of this one, of course, I think this actually is the best one for this one, coming with your recoil boost as your muzzle, coming with your strutted barrel as your barrel. Now, this is up to you guys if you guys think that this is a really good barrel for the Owen gun. A lot of people might not want to use it because you actually are losing is your recoil control, and of course you actually do not get us like a headshot damage for this. Now, a lot of people actually like to take off the barrel, which a lot of people recommend for the Owen gun, but I don't think there's really much of a difference, because if you do have your recoil booster and you have is your Grenko round mag, where actually does have your plus fire rate for your fastest TTK when it actually comes down to the Owen gun itself. It actually does delete as fast as it is, but it all depends on if you are hitting your shots all the time. Now, of course, you guys just like reflector, you guys your remove stock, you got your acrobatic and your quick as your perks. You got your leather grip, your Grenko, your hollow point, and of course a lot of people actually like to start using this skeletal round max for the Owen gun, because when it actually comes down to this gun, it actually does have like some of a slower ADS speed for it. So anything that is actually quick for ADS speed, so I think you got like three things. You got your skeletal, you got your leather grip, and of course you got your remove stock. They actually give it plus ADS speed for this one. So I think this 100% is the best build that actually comes down to the Owen gun 100%. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so now we got this our last gun we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now we got this the Automaton. Now everybody likes the Automaton. I really don't know what's so special about this gun, but hey man, if you guys are looking for a perfect setup, here you guys go. So you got your MX silencer for your muzzle, where she does the same thing, your vertical and your horizontal recoil control. You got your Zag barrel, where she just helps us with your high accuracy and control, and of course reduce your sway while aiming down sight. You got your G16 for your optic. You got your paddock stock, where she just help out with your accuracy and recoil during sustained fire, and of course that helps with your flinch resistance. You got your Porsche is your tight grip, fully loaded. You got your rubber grip, where she just helps with your recoil control as it comes down to the Automaton. You got your 75 round drum, and of course you got your hand stop, and of course your leaked in perk. Now the Automaton really doesn't have like a really much of a different type of build comes down to this gun. I know a lot of people still say like the Automaton is not really good because it still feel like it jumps and whatsoever, but it's all about how you control your recoil with most of you guys' guns. That's a lot of times it actually comes down to it. Most of you guys might say, oh well, this gun has too much recoil. It's all about your dead zones, all about your settings, whatever you guys do have for like a setting for your guys' controller or whatever DPI for like, I don't think this actually is a problem with any keyboard and mouse player, but I think when it comes down to controller for most of you guys that's in the community, it's all about how you control the recoil for it. So that's really just mostly it, man. I just want to talk about the new top 5 best loadouts, and of course to give you guys an update on what's the best perks for rock right now for Rebirth, and somewhat kind of for Cal there, since we really didn't mostly talk about it. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, man, make sure you do drop a like, hit the subscribe button, guys are brand new. If you guys do want to see any more top 5s in the nearest future, man, tell you guys, man, get 50 likes on today's video. It actually does help the video as well. But I'm wrapping up, you guys. If you guys did enjoy today's video, and as always, see you guys in the next one.